Hey, it's me, Jim, again in my car. And I am going to be talking today and actually most of this week about culture because I'm talking about when somebody tells you that you need to work on the culture of your school, something that I've been told before. And I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what is meant by that. I don't know whether we're talking about a culture of everybody feeling good. So, we want to make the teachers feel good. We want to make the kids feel good. We want to make the families feel good. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just wondering, is it a culture of feeling good? Is it a culture of academic achievement where we're talking about data, we're looking at student work, we're rewarding kids for making progress and growth? Are we talking about a culture of equity and diversity? So we're wanting to make sure that we have representation around our school, that we are, disaggregating data, making sure we're looking at how our sometimes marginalized populations are doing. So making sure everybody's achieving at high levels. So it just sort of depends what you're talking about when you say you need to work on culture. So like so many terms in education, we need to further flesh that out and define what we mean by that. What I think we mean, which is a little bit worrisome, is that we need to rely on a culture of nice. That is something that is pervasive in schools, and there's been a little bit written about it. We on our podcast, Yes and No, had the opportunity to interview Angelina Castano, Dr. Castano. She has written a book called The Price of Nice, and we didn't interview her specifically about the book, but it's a great book about how niceness is sometimes used as a cover for the status quo and maintaining the status quo, even if that means inequity for some students, and even if that means poor performance for some students. So in education, we have a culture of nice. In Utah, we have a culture of nice, and that's different than kind. I think, nice and kind are somewhat synonyms, but kind is, doing something kind for somebody, being a kind person, saying hello, being friendly, that sort of thing. That's all kind. Maybe doing something nice for somebody, like buying them lunch. I think I'm a really kind person. It's where we get to the category of nice that maybe I don't fit so well. I don't know that I'm that nice or perceived as being that nice, because I call out some of our BS in schools, and I have always done that, and think we owe it to one another and to our kids to do that. So in education, we sort of have this idea that, being an educator in and of itself is a nice act. We are being nice because we are giving of ourselves to take care of kids who might be needy, who might have very specific and significant needs, who might require us to figure out ways to reach them different than how we reach the general school population. It might require us to give some extra time on the weekends, or it might require us to conduct a home visit, and we feel so nice for doing all of those things for the kids. And, we can say that we love kids and we love, teaching, and that's all nice. But then the reaction to that is expected to be nice as well. So I'm expected to tell teachers that they're doing a good job. We're expected to see the sacrifices that teachers are making and accept those sacrifices as enough. And if we question any of those things, if we say, maybe we need to do things differently, or maybe the things that we're doing are the wrong things, then all of a sudden we've sort of broken that nice contract that exists in schools. It's an unwritten contract, but it is a contract, let me tell you. And all of a sudden we're categorized as mean. And that can sound really, really mean, especially when we're so entrenched in a culture of nice. So, just simply saying, wow, our data isn't quite what it should be. Like, what can we do differently? that can really rub a nice teacher the wrong way, because in their mind, they're doing everything they possibly can do. And nobody should question that because it's perceived as unnice, not nice. I was about to say unkind, but that's different. So this week I'm going to explore this a little bit more because I think it's something that we need to explore. There are lots of culture books out there. We're supposed to be working on school culture, but again, I think, gosh, we really need to define that a little bit more, because it's a little bit problematic to just throw culture out there and expect that everybody's going to understand what we're talking about, number one. And number two, I think what people are talking about is a culture of nice, which is equally problematic because it's only serving to maintain our status quo in schools. It's not allowing us to question one another, to really push one another to be better. And that's what it's all about in education, right? That's what it should be all about. We've got to get better. 50% proficiency, 30% proficiency, even 70% proficiency is not good enough. I mean, we can do better than that. And so the only way that we can continue to improve and get better is by challenging one another. And that requires us to let down some of that niceness of just accepting that everybody's nice, everybody's in it for the right reasons, everybody's, assuming the best. That's one of the norms that sometimes gets thrown out there that can be problematic, assuming the best. When, we may not need to or want to assume the best in all cases, especially when the outcome isn't the best. And by assuming the best, assuming that everybody's just nice and that we have to accept nice, it's not moving the needle on where we need to be as a school or as schools. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and feedback on this topic, and we'll go a little bit deeper as the week progresses. Have a good day.